Hi, hello, and welcome back to F1 Challenge Career Mode. My name is Mephisto, and today we're heading off to Austria for round 10 of the 2000 Formula 1 season. Let's get started.
Located near Nittelfeld in the foothills of the Styrian Mountains, the A1 ring combines three long straights with a flowing mix of fast sweeping and slower 90-degree turns. Built on the site of the historic Österreich ring, this dedicated motorsports facility is another fine example of modern circuit design.
Here we are in Austria, ready to start off our qualifying, and hopefully we'll be able to get a decent position. I'm doubtful, but we can try. The weather is overcast and the track is a bit damp, so let's try and be careful. So, coming around for our first qualifying lap, I felt I was doing quite alright, but we crossed the line with a time of 1 minute 16.268 seconds, which places us in 18th. Not as good as I initially thought, but coming around for a second time I completely mess up the exit on turn 6, which is going to cost me a lot of time. In fact, we crossed the line with a time of 1 minute 18.868 seconds, more than 2 seconds slower than our previous attempt. And sadly, this places us 22nd for the race. See you on the grid.
Hello there. Welcome to Austria. Weather-wise, it's pretty overcast, with occasional drizzle making things very tricky out there. David Coulthard first. Schumacher second. Hakkinen third. Jenson Button fourth. Barrichello fifth. Jacques Villeneuve sixth. Ralf Schumacher seventh. Frentzen eighth. Jos Verstappen ninth. Giancarlo Fisichella 10th. Irvine was consistently faster than his teammate. He starts 11th. Trulli 12th. Wirtz 13th. Zonta 14th. Diniz 15th. Sarlo 16th. Nick Heidfeld 17th. Alesi 18th. De La Rosa 19th. Genet 20th. Mazzacane 21st. The Jaguar driver 22nd.
And here we are on the grid, and as you can probably see, the weather is still quite overcast. However, at least the track has dried up, which is good. And we're off. Once again, a very poor start on my part, but we shall try to gain a few positions through turn 1. We've passed Genet, Mazzacane and De La Rosa, as well as the two Prost cars, then Wirtz and Zonta. Next is Diniz and teammate Eddie Irvine. But let's have another look at the start, shall we? So here is a replay of the start. A bit of wheel spin there, which is part of why my start was so poor, but everyone got away cleanly and I even managed to gain a few positions, which is what we want really. But back to our race, I managed to gain a few more positions through turn 2, and it seems that I'll gain a couple more through turn 3. So we are already up in P11, which is absolutely fantastic. This is what we need. Based on this, I think we might be able to score a few points today. That would pretty much make my day. But Frentzen is stuck in gear and blocks us, essentially allowing his teammate to get in front of us. Naughty naughty. To me that looked like favoritism, but I guess you would favor your teammate over anyone else. And it seems that they made contact just there, costing Trulli his front wing. We are now riding with Jarno Trulli. We've got Frentzen ahead, and he brakes early. Trulli then taps the side of his teammate's car and off comes the wing. Anyway, I managed to pass Trulli through the final corner, and we are now up in P10, which means we've passed half the field in just one lap. And I go off onto the grass. Not entirely sure what I was thinking there. In any case, next up we have Fisichella, who is around 3 seconds ahead, so let's keep pushing. On lap 4, we finally catch up to Fisichella and Jos Verstappen, and it seems there is fire coming out of Verstappen's car. And we almost end up hitting him. Why did he pull to the left there? I'm pretty sure he was closer to the right edge of the track. I purposefully kept to the left side to avoid him, but it almost cost me the entire race. Here is another look at the incident. We are following Jos Verstappen and his car bursts into flame. And yeah, he was on the right side of the track, so that maneuver makes no sense. It is almost as if the AI did that on purpose. It was quite scary back there, but anyway, we are still chasing down Fisichella who is a little over 1 second ahead. So let us try and close in the gap a bit more, and hopefully attempt to pass him. And the spotter and the spotter warns us about yellow flags in sector 2, which is where Verstappen's car is. So we'll have to be careful when we get there. But we are now in Fisichella's slipstream and we're approaching really fast. A break just a fraction of a second later and we're through. And up in P8. Two more spots and we'll be in the points. Points which we desperately need. And there's Verstappen, the safety workers still haven't removed his car from the track. At the end of lap 7 we need to come in for some fuel and a set of fresh tires. I slowed down a bit early there, but we should be okay. Better to slow down early than to risk getting a penalty for speeding in the pits. Let's see what we have. The lollipop is raised and we're off once again. That stop took around 13 seconds. Quite slow, but it doesn't really matter now. And it looks like we'll be rejoining in 17th place. So we've got a bit of work on our hands. On lap 8 we catch up to De La Rosa and the Lacey, so let's see what we can do here. Would you look at that? De La Rosa is stuck in gear. I'll take that. That was easy, but Lacey won't be as easy, unless of course his gearbox also breaks. But I won't be that lucky. Let's put a bit of pressure on him and hope that we can get through. And I managed to miss it, but we are through. We are now back in 15th, so we still have our work cut out for us. We are now on lap 14, and since most of the cars pitted after we did, we are now in P7, just one spot below the points. However, I don't think we'll be able to finish with points. That is because we would have to catch up to Villeneuve who is around 10 seconds ahead, and we only have 4 more laps to do so. And it looked like one of the Williams went off the track. But first we have Ricardo Zonta with an engine failure. And there he is, with Alexander Burns in front of him. As he exits turn 1, his engine catches fire and his race is over. And it was the Williams of Ralf Schumacher we saw off the track a moment ago. And it seems like his brakes might have failed, but we'll soon find out. So yeah, both Zonta and Ralf Schumacher are out of the race. So is De La Rosa, Verstappen, Trulli and Frentzen. And there's the BAR of Ricardo Zonta. Anyway, I managed to close in the gap on Villeneuve a bit. However, it's not enough. It went from 10 seconds to 9 seconds, which means I would need at least 9 more laps to catch up. So unless he retires, we won't be getting any points. We are now at the end of the penultimate lap, and there's an incident with a little over a lap left of this race. Amazing. Here is Pedro Diniz with his teammate Mika Salo behind, and it looks like Salo slightly clips the rear of Diniz's car, causing him to spin and hit the barrier. That's not something you'd want this close to the end of the race. But we've just begun our final lap. Villeneuve managed to increase the gap, and he's now back up to 10 seconds ahead, and it looks like Minardi are preparing for a pit stop for some reason. And so are Sauber. What the hell? And another incident involving Diniz. Let's have a look. Here is Jean Alesi behind Diniz who is missing his front wing. Alesi slams into the damaged Sauber and loses his rear wing. That is definitely not something you'd want this close to the end. But here we are coming through the final few corners of this race. Mika Hakkinen wins. Michael Schumacher finally manages to finish a race after all those retirements. I wonder if he'll still be able to win the championship. I know that we won't, not this season anyway. We are way too far behind in the standings to even try to challenge for third, I think. But there we are, we finished 7th. It's a bit frustrating knowing how close we were to a points finish, and quite a bit disappointing considering we actually won the 99 Austrian Grand Prix. 7th is still a good finish however. But it is time to move on. Germany awaits. That is going to be quite a difficult race since the track doesn't really suit our car. It has those long straights where top end speed is very important, something our Jaguar doesn't really have. So we'll just have to wait and see how things will turn out
Well,
when we
that's
get
the
there,
end
I
of
guess.
an awesome Austrian Grand Prix. Here are the final results. Hakkinen first. Michael Schumacher second. David Coulthard third. Rubens Barrichello fourth. Button fifth. Jacques Villeneuve sixth. The Jaguar driver seventh.
So, Hakkinen's win brings him 10 more points, which puts his total up to 70 points. Michael Schumacher finally manages to finish a race, in second no less, and so he now has 45 points. Coulthard finished third, giving him 4 points and bringing his total up to 30. Just 2 points behind him is Jenson Button with 28 points. In fifth we have Barrichello with 13 points. Sixth is shared between Fisichella, Verstappen and ourselves with 9 points. Ralf Schumacher and Heidfeld are in seventh with 8 points. Teammate Eddie Irvine is joined by Jacques Villeneuve in 8th place with 7 points. Mika Salo is in ninth with 5 points. In 10th we have Frentzen with 4 points. Wirtz and Zonta are in 11th with 2 points. And who can forget about Mazzacane with his single point which places him 12th in the standings. Moving on to the constructors, we have McLaren who finished first and third, gaining them 14 points and bringing their total up to 100. Ferrari are in second with almost half the points, only 58 to be exact, which puts them in a pretty difficult situation. In third we have Williams with 36 points. Fourth is held by Jaguar, our team, with 16 points. Benetton are in fifth with 11 points. Moving up to and sharing sixth with Arrows are BAR with 9 points. In seventh we have Sauber and Prost with 8 points. In eighth we have Jordan with 4 points. And finally Minardi in ninth with 1 point. So that was the Austrian Grand Prix. Not a bad finish. However, it is a bit disappointing that we didn't get any points. Maybe next time. Although that is going to be quite difficult. As I said before, Hockenheim is not quite suited for our car, but we'll just have to wait and see how things pan out. What I do know, however, is that we need more points. As it stands, we don't look too good. We only have 9 points, and we are already in the second half of the season. We've got 7 more rounds to go, so we really need those points. As many of them as possible. But anyway, join me next time when we'll be heading off to Germany for round 11 of the season. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp!